I mean, so you said you've been there before. What happened exactly?
So, and this is like I said, this was high school when this happened because once I figured it out in high school, it was the end of the friend zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You are now free to move about the cabin.
But no. So yeah, we got friend zone thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So on this Raider Kaizen exclusive, we will be talking about the friend zone.
Dun dun dun.
First off, how do you feel about the friend zone?
Friend zone sucks.
Elaborate.
Friend zone sucks for the one reason that now it is known as the simp zone.
This is news to me. I didn't know that.
So here's how it works. Most guys that are considered simps now are guys who are gonna go out to dinner, buy this, buy that. They're really treating their friend really well, and the feelings may be there, they may not be there, but you got these other dudes who are like, man, I ain't doing none of that stuff. The unfortunate part is you have a lot of women now that are taking advantage of that, just like we talked about in another episode with their roster. So now you have the simp category for this guy who feels like he's really your friend, but he's really just on your roster because he's going to be a gentleman. He's going to take you out. You're going to go to the movies. You're going to have a great time like friends would do prior to this. And then if anything happens, you can always call him to have your back. So it makes a very odd dynamic now to have it, because now men are trying to figure out, am I a simp or are we really friends? It didn't used to be like that. It was just, oh yeah, we're just friends.
I'm trying to see if I've ever been in a situation where I could have described myself as a simp, and unfortunately, it's not come to mind. Because at base, if I choose to do something for you, you're gonna know I chose to do this. In the exact moment where my Y chromosome kicks in, it's like, why am I here? Or if I sniff out some ungratefulness that I'm doing this for you, it's like, I didn't have to come do this shit for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could be at home doing something else, and I'm here. Be grateful.
Yeah. I don't particularly like the friend zone because I've been in it a few times when I was learning how to date, learning how to talk to girls, learning who I was going to be in a relationship. Like, it's like you always, as a guy, I'm the guy, like I'm supposed to be. But you don't know how much of a gentleman you're supposed to be. That's the part you got to figure out, like. And that was a conversation, that I was thankful that I was able to have with my dad, who was like, you are a gentleman. You are very nice. You are all the things that a girl wants, but you're too nice. So they put you in the friend zone because they don't see you as having a backbone. Only because you're holding a door and yes, I'll take care of this. I'll hold your books. If they need anything, you're always right there and you're very polite. So for them, it's like, he always is really friendly. Yeah, that's my friend. He's like my brother. But they don't see that. Whereas the guys that they're looking at, as backwards as it may sound to you being, at this age I was like 13 or 14. He's like, as backwards as it is, look at who the guys are that they like. The bad boys, the ones who are rude, the ones who are cracking jokes on people, the ones who got a kind of swag about them. And it's like, they ask him to do something like, hey, can you do this? And he's like, no, and get out of my way. And they're just like, oh, but if you notice, they just can't get enough of that guy. They're doing everything they can to get his attention. But here you are, the nice guy who really likes him and is going to really treat him right. And they're just, for lack of better words, not mature enough to understand that. So you're their friend. But they like the bad boy because he's exciting.
Fair enough.
So no, I didn't like the friend zone. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now.
I know I've been there before. But as you were going through that explanation, I started to think about when I was around that age. That was right about the time when I first started getting the, I used to have a crush on you BS that they like to pull up.
End of high school. The darkest night.
But as you were explaining all that stuff, because I've never considered myself to be quote unquote a bad boy. That's just, no.
Right.
But one thing I do know about myself is I'm very short and I can be rude. So it's like can you do this for me? No. Why would I do that? I can help you. I ain't gonna do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't want to help you, I don't want to help you. But it's just like, because every single time that I used to have a crush on you thing was met with, yeah, you were kind of an asshole back then. And it was just like, how? Okay. I didn't get it then. I don't get it now. Probably never will. Not high on my priority list. Like, comment, subscribe. That's high on my priority list. But, I mean, so you said you've been there before. What happened exactly?
So, and this is, like I said, this was high school when this happened, because once I figured it out in high school, it was the end of the friend zone. Basically what happened is I had like these girls that I would like, and my mom's like, always be a gentleman, open the door for them, say good morning, make eye contact. It's okay to be friendly, be a gentleman, and the girls will like you. That's what mom taught me, which wasn't true. They liked me, but they didn't like me. They thought I was cool, like he's polite, but that was what it was. They didn't think that I had any like edge to me. They didn't think that I would like stand up for myself. It's a weird way of, that's what they saw. And I found this out, like I say, end of high school as I'm talking, like, well, I didn't, because it was girls who were just flat out like, you're too nice, or you're weird. And I was weird because I like Star Wars, or I like, different types of music, and just stuff like that. I was in the art club, and on the football team, and in the choir. It's one of those where I was in a lot of different social groups when I was in school, which is cool. And I enjoyed that and learned something from all of them. I hung out with the goth kids and the emo kids.
Good to know, because you get fair warning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hung out with a lot of different groups. But even in the different groups, I just found myself with the girls in the different groups when I try to talk to them. They're just like, no, it's cool. Like, I just see you more as a friend. And I was like, all right. And that's where I was like, what is it about me? And my dad was basically like, he's like, son, you got to have a backbone. You got to, when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. When you're not, you're not. And don't always agree. And show them who you are. Like, exactly who you are. If you want to do something, great. If you don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. Well, why not? And they try to sway you. No, this is my choice. This is what I'm not going to do. And then it shows them like, oh, okay. He's not with it. I don't care. All right. He's like, you don't have to be rude about it, but they got to see that you are willing to stand on your own 10 toes down. That's what they got to see. That you're like that about yourself, and about what you like, and about what you don't like. If someone's wearing hair that you don't like, how's my hair? I don't like that hairdo. Like, you're not being rude. That's just not a hairdo I like. I don't think it looks good on you. Here's why I don't think it looks good on you. I understand you really may like it, but hey, you ask my opinion. It's not my favorite. And then just go on from there.
But see, that in particular is where black folks get off easily. Because we got sayings for stuff like that. Do you like my hair? If you like it, I love it.
Yeah. I like to stop saying that. Nah. If you ask me, hey, put on a helmet. It's coming. I ask people, before, are you sure you want me to answer before I answer? So that way I know that they, full disclosure, they're prepared themselves for it. Someone who may not agree.
That's like me. You want the truth or the sugar coat?
Mm-hmm. And say, I make it feel good, or I can be silent. One of the two.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't think there's ever been a moment. Well, of course it probably has. It just doesn't come to my recollection. Where it's just like I've had to show increasingly that I've had a backbone, especially dealing with women.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of always there For me, at least, it's just like after a certain point, it's like I'm not doing that. No, I don't feel like doing that. Can you? No. Ask somebody else to do it. I'm busy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was once I started being 10 toes down about what Rader liked and didn't like that the girls were, and then you also had a level of mystery that came with that, because then they were trying to figure you out. Like, okay, he doesn't like this. He didn't really elaborate on what he does like, and so then they get intrigued. It's like, okay, so what makes this guy tick? Whereas when I was the nice guy, they assumed that they knew what made me tick. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like, he's nice, he's friendly, he'll hold a chair. It's like they could count on, oh man, my hands are full. Hey Raider, can you help me with this? And then I run over there, oh yeah, sure, I'll help you out. And I go do it. And then next thing you know, they're like, all right, cool. And then they take off and do whatever they're doing. And they're, you know, and you can visually see that they're more in tune to another guy who walks up. He's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing this. And then they're doing the cues. They're playing with their hair and playing with their shirt and fidgeting. And you're like, wait a second. That dude never carries your books. He always has something to say about what you're wearing. That's who you like? Really? Like, for high schoolers and middle schoolers, the friend zone is a very confusing area.
Yeah, I can't say I have much experience with that because I was focused on me. I didn't care nothing about that.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even now, it's, can you help me with this? What all do you need before I say yes? I'm not just gonna blindly say yes to anything.
But considering the two background differences, you had an older sister.
I did have an older sister.
And see, for my family, it was all boys. And my mother although she be 4'11", she definitely did not let the height, don't let the height fool you. But she let it be known, like, this is what's expected out of my boys. And so that's how she brought us up.
Even though I had an older sister, that didn't play much of a role.
It did.
I guess it plays a role to an extent.
We haven't had that episode yet.
Holy shit.
Okay. We gonna dig, baby. Get the shovels.
I don't know if I want to be there for that. But I guess it did play a role because my sister is basically 8 years older than me. So she was in high school when I was like 6 or 7.
Yeah. That's interesting because me and my baby brother, 8 years exactly.
So that's like, and I can still distinctly remember she used to do and say certain stuff when her friends come over and just like,
that's not even you.
He got a crush on you? What? How exactly? Oh, he thinks you're pretty. Yeah, I do. And?
Say that does not equivalent to the crush.
And? We want to play the PlayStation. I am on the last level. Leave me alone. This is Crash Bandicoot. I was on level 30. About to beat the game. We want to play. Get out. But I mean, I guess it played a role to an extent.
Because you saw the side of women that I didn't see at an earlier age. I didn't ever have to tell a young lady of any sort, like, we're playing a game right now, or that. I just didn't have that. I didn't have someone, a lady with any of her friends. Like, there were no homegirls coming over and them doing the giggly thing. I didn't see that until I went to school.
Jesus Christ, that was annoying.
But now that I have a daughter,
you're seeing it.
I see it. And then I look at how my son reacts to other girls, and he reminds me of somebody I am sitting next to.
Okay.
110% that. 100. I see, and I'm just watching him like, this is a very interesting dynamic. I had never noticed this.
Okay. I've never thought about it, but okay. Because of course, my even though we're close in age, my younger brothers didn't have to deal with half that.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. Did not think we would be going here, but okay.
So yes, that definitely attributes to, mothers who bring their sons up to be these polite gentlemen, and then getting stuck in the friend zone. There is a thing for guys. There is a thing as being too nice, and and that's what you have to navigate. Am I being too nice, or am I? And it's being too nice and not being authentic. You have to be authentic.
And here, I guess, to your point with the whole me having an older sister, this is probably the only point where I can say yes, guaranteed it affected me. Was because she was older, she would babysit me and my brothers during the summers.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time or two where she tried to overstep that bound. And I guess it showed me very early on, like, nah, hard boundary. You're not crossing this line with me.
Right. Whereas with me, being, only having mom is really the woman to bound. I had aunts, and I had one girl cousin, but mainly aunts. No girls in my peer circle really that were close to home like that. Like if they asked you to do something, you just kind of did.
This is interesting.
With a smile on your face, and you're a total gentleman about it. Hey, can you help me cook this? Sure. Hey, can you help me do that? Sure. So that for that reason, the way mom wrote, it made me a fantastic husband to my wife, to where she looks at me and when I do stuff and she's like, "Where'd that come from?" I'm like, my mom said I should always do this when I become a husband.
Now see, and this is the funny part.
And my dad came in with the balance and be like, "We going fishing though." It's like, or do what your mom said, but do it this way.
And see, this is the funny part, because there were times where my sister would get told to do something and she tried to pass it on. It's like, nah, they told you to do that. Mm-hmm. Or like you said, because we used to be in the church and then they would ask me to do something. But this is where me being smarter than I should have been, I used to convince my parents to let me do certain chores for a little extra cash, even though it was somebody else's turn. So when it came time for the, hey, can you do this for me? It was sure. Turns to little brother, I'll give you X amount of dollars to do this.
And so then you're like, all right, cool, everybody winning.
So that's where the delegation came from.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I'm good for a curveball. You'll see as the podcast continues. But that's something to really think about and ask yourselves if you're watching this. Like, think about who you've seen more in friend zones. Those men who've had mom who really showed them everything, and we'll say those who had mostly brothers, very male-dominated home, or those who had female-dominated or more younger females in their home. That's something to really think about. That's a study nobody's really done, but something that I have noticed over time. Like, a lot of my friends who had sisters operated and treated girls completely different than my friends who had brothers. And I always thought that was interesting.
I suppose so. That definitely threw me for a loop. Because I'm always just chilling. Mm-hmm. I am how I am. But I never thought that would have been something that influenced it that way. Even to this day now.
Mm-hmm. You have to remember, we're only a collection of experience, thoughts, and lessons that we've learned up until this point in life.
Now, needless to say, this is not to say that I've never been in a friend zone, because I definitely have. However, I know the way I deal with it and dealt with it is completely different. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe it's probably not different.
What's the next one though? We gotta stay on track.
See, I have a feeling you're gonna mess that all over. I have a
feeling. He's like, don't talk on track right now.
Well, technically, I am on track, because the next question is, did you make it out?
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Yeah. Okay.
But that's just a cut and dry. Did you make it out? And how did you make it? Or did you have to cut them off? Which that's where
I had to cut mine off.
Mine's cold turkey. Like, no, we're done.
Yeah, when I got put in the friend zone, all the girls that put me in the friend zone, I literally had to like, hey, can you carry my books? Nope. And I just carried on. They're like, So it's funny because that dynamic changed. That friend dynamic changed. It's like, what's up with him? And then they come back later. Hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. And then they're looking like, but like you normally carry my books, and we're not like, yeah, but I liked you, but I understand we're friends, and I just don't want to feel uncomfortable being around you. So, yeah, I'm good. And then you carry on about I carried on about my way and what I was doing. Then it was like, oh, okay. And for them, it was like watching a mild rejection.
That's because it was.
When because the shoe was on the other foot. It's like, oh wait, and and then you even have the girls that try to manipulate the situation. Oh, I guess we weren't really friends. No, I was really your friend, but you only hung out with me when you needed me to do something. So I'll still talk to you. I'll still help you with your homework when you were in class, but I'm not gonna go like above and beyond. No. When I say help, I didn't mean doing homework.
You still helping.
Yeah, but I'm saying
you can pay for it now.
But if somebody has a question, for instance, if somebody had a question in class, hey, does anybody know how to do this? Yeah, here's how you solve it, and then I'm gonna go back to what I'm doing. I'm not gonna like walk across your room and lean over your desk and be your one-on-one tutor. No, but you can find the answer right here. This is how you do it, and then the teacher's like, yay or nay. I'm like, all right, cool, and we carry on. But like, aside from that, it really came to, yeah, I'm not carrying your books anymore. I'm not gonna help carry your lunch. Like, you got to figure that out. It's a new space. You're just gonna have to navigate without that guy who's only good enough to be a friend.
See, this is where the Jedi mind trick started earlier. I guess we weren't really friends then. That says a lot about you, doesn't it?
It's exactly that the reverse psychology.
Because I'll be your friend until you tell me I'm not.
It's like, I'm not the one who said that. You just said that to me because now I won't do what you want. So you really were using me. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. This is one of the true times where like the entire game plan for an episode is kind of just. I can typically stay composed, but either way,
at least you have a map, so we good.
Exactly. So I can come back to the map.
So if you guys are doing podcasts and you're wondering, it is always good to have a script written because the conversations definitely happen that can take you on a turn, and you got to refocus what you're going to. So
now that we've covered how you felt about it, we're gonna get into how did you end up there. It's like, did you shoot a shot first? Were you just cool with being friends, or
I was cool with being friends for a while. I'm from a little town when I went to high school and everything, so we were from a small town. Everybody pretty much knew everybody, so I was just kind of learning dynamics. Who knew who was in what group. So I really got you just be friendly and polite with everyone. Teachers loved me, that kind of deal. And, even though we laughed and joked and had fun in class, it was never out of line. But after getting to know everybody in all the different groups, okay, I like this girl. I like this one. Okay, I like that one. So I had the different girls that I liked. And all of them were saying the same thing in the aspect of, but I just always thought of you as a friend. And I was like, really? Like, we've hung out tonight. We hung out at the fair together and we had fun. And hey, Rader, come sit with us. And the whole deal. Yeah, but I just never thought of you like that. I was like, oh, okay. And then they didn't have the maturity then to explain what they were looking for or why they thought of that. Because I did ask then. I'm like, why can't I be more than friends? They're like, I just always looked at you like a brother. Like, kind of like a brother or a friend or. Like, you're always just, the nice guy who would always help out. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. And that's when I realized, like, nice guys do finish last in a lot of aspects. Like, you can be nice, but to be nice and friendly is almost like a nail in the coffin.
No, you cannot be nice. You can be kind. Kindness can be taken for weakness. Being nice is what ends up making you lose the race. Do not be nice, be kind.
I like that. I like that one a lot. Because that's what it turned into. I did stop being nice, and I was kind to people. I was still polite. I was still, Rader. But when it came to all the nice benefits they were getting from Rader being a friend, yeah, that's where it stopped.
Being nice definitely gets you screwed over.
Yeah, it's like, nah, we're not doing that.
Mm-hmm. The whole, I just look at you like a brother. I have a sister. I don't need another one. She's annoying as it is.
Yeah.
I have a sister and 2 little brothers. I don't need more siblings. I remember saying that more than a few times. But then again, some people believe in make-believe. You do astrology and you believe in all the crystals and all that extra BS. If you want to call spade, Aries, whatever. I when it's done, it's done. So like once your favor has run out, who are you again? Because you're not who I thought I knew, which means that you're a stranger to me. Why would I do that for you? That's why, like I said, when you said you used to help, I used to help with homework too.
Oh yeah,
I used to help with assignments too.
I cut you off. You weren't dead to me.
Now see, here's the difference. If I liked you, it was free. If I didn't, you can pay. If you messed up over here, now you gotta pay. That's just what it is. So it's like, that's why it's like, you were still helping? Nah, I charge now.
Yeah, I would. I was like,
Nah, them days is over. As some people have found out. Them days is over. Now you don't get all that extra. You don't get to have that access no more.
Yeah.
But when did you realize that it wasn't going anywhere?
When I asked, I was bold.
So you had to ask questions.
I had to ask. Yeah, otherwise I'd have just kept going. And I was like, you know what? And it was crazy because it would happen like a homecoming dance or Valentine's dance, or we had those dances at our school.
Yeah.
And I would ask, and they were just like, no, I mean, nah, it's okay. And that's when I started, and it was literally like one after the other, because I didn't ever ask to, like, once somebody told me no, I didn't like go find another one for this dance. I would just like, all right, cool, this dance I'm going stag, like I'm finna go cut it up on the dance floor by myself. Like that's what we gonna do. It's gonna be me and the boys.
Now that's a problem because in 2024, y'all take me and the boys a little bit too far. I'm sorry.
We ain't
I'm
even going
sorry.
there.
Yes, I'm gonna go there for a second. I am sorry. Okay, if I got a girl and we supposed to be doing something, but the boys want to hang, the boys ain't finna do what I need done. So they got to figure it out another time. I ain't going. Some of y'all will cancel plans with your girl. Now, this is not to say you shouldn't have a healthy balance. But it shouldn't be every time they call, you all of a sudden got to cancel plans. Y'all take that too far.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying on that subject.
Yes, be mindful if you're in a relationship that you want to work, it cannot be bros before hoes. It will not work very long.
But either way, what was I just saying before that part?
We were talking about how we got to that point, and I was telling you,
Oh, yeah. See, for me, if I'm asking the question, for me, it's more of a, this is the final step to where now you were dropped off the cliff, Mufasa.
Okay.
It's because for me, it's like, I see that. Okay. So you doing that for him, but he asked me to do that, and you asked me to do that, but now you want to pretend like you can, okay. Oh, you just asked me for my Gatorade, but you sharing that with, okay. So by the time I ask the question, this is literally the why. Because this is final step before, who are you?
When you cut them off, they got the black marker over their name where you forget, like, who is that again?
It's literally a CAI.ca with this person's name, blank, 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 did this, blank, 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 was excommunicated for blank, 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 blank. Yeah, nah, it's, when it's over, it's goddamn over. Good luck ever coming back.
Yeah, I didn't ever break up with friends like that. If I was just like, it was like I said, it's, if you need something, all right, whatever. But I'm not going out of my way anymore. And that's what I used to do as a friend zone. I'd be like, you know what? I got to be somewhere. But, I got you. I'll take care of it. So, yeah, and the aspects of new stuff, maybe I simped a lot. I'll say that. Maybe I did.
Everybody goes through that phase. Every single guy. There's not a guy alive that can't tell you that at some point they have. And that's why it's so prevalent to be against it now, because I can't speak for women because I'm not a woman, but the majority of the time, if a man's been through something, he's like, nah, I don't never want to have to go through that, and I want to put other people on game so they ain't got to go through. We gonna tell you, hey bro, just don't do it. Because X, Y, and Z will happen, so don't do it. And that's where you get all the content right now. Like, hey bro, just focus on you. She for the streets. There's gonna be plenty more.
But that was a lesson also that I would definitely encourage most men to go through. I say most because everybody's different. You gotta have that building stage in your life where you tune everybody out, everything out. It's you, your workout, your money, your goals, and that's you just in that zone. Like everybody's got to have that structured section of their life to really be at that next level. So, if there's anything I could share with my younger self, I would tell my younger self that, yeah, friend zone is fine, but stop worrying about them because in another 3 years, you ain't even gonna have no contact with them. So, don't feel bad. Carry on. You got bigger things to do.
And look, I will also say this. If you know anybody in my family, you will know that it is notorious that growing up, me and my father bumped heads quite a bit. But if there is nothing else he has ever said that I actually believe and know that it rings true, young man, focus on you because they always come back. They always come back.
Mm-hmm.
Just believe that. But, now, 3-part question. In those relationships, one, were you being used? Which, yes, you already admitted that you were being used. How did that affect you mentally, and does it still affect you now?
Mentally, then I felt let down because it's like I thought this person was really my friend. Turns out they weren't. They just wanted to use me for being the nice guy. Does it affect me now? No. It's just when I see it now, I let other dudes know. I'm like, yeah, she your friend, but I don't think y'all friends the same way. So that's really all now. Now that I see it and recognize it, because you'll see now I know what that guy's face. I know what that guy's face looks like from the outside looking in, and I know what her body language and face looks like from the outside of the whole situation. I'm just like, when I see the young ones out, I'm like, yo, y'all good? Like, oh yeah, this is my friend. Like, hey man, you come tell me, just level with me. Do you like her? Oh yeah, man, if I could date her, I would. All right, cool. She don't feel the same way. Body language alone tells me that.
Jesus. That means there's no more food in my system.
That was loud, bro.
That's what I was like,
yo,
where does that come from?
That was a jet. I'm not gonna lie.
Nope. I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. But, however, that's a different conversation because that is the majority of the reason why most guys do not trust the quote-unquote male best friend, because if he could, he would.
Yeah.
And all it takes is for us to get into one little bit, and you're going to go ahead and do that because now that's the backup option that you had.
Oh, that's a whole nother... That's a whole nother thing. In general, I've told so many people, if you want your marriage to work, find a way to love your best friend on all levels, and then marry your best friend. And then after you're married, keep being best friends. That is the simplest recipe I can give you for a long, happy relationship. Be genuinely good to each other and keep being best friends. Also, travel together, eat together, dance together. Whatever you do as best friends, keep being best friends.
Goes back to making a choice.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you want some real long term, and that's what I did. That was the real thing about me and my wife. When I realized she was my best friend, I was like, I'm marrying her. And people are like, why? You and her are so different. That's my best friend. She accepts me being different. I accept her being different. And we allow each other that space to really grow and enjoy. I enjoy seeing her grow in a different aspect from me, no different than she enjoys me growing in a different aspect from her completely.
Dropping gems on y'all. I'm just saying, y'all might want to pay attention. Like, comment, subscribe so you can hear more. But the only thing I will say is, yes, it still affects you now.
Okay.
But it doesn't affect you in how most people will believe, like, oh, this is a persona built around it. No. It's more of perfect analogy. Before you were her friend in the friend zone sitting in the dark. Somebody came in and flipped the light switch on. Now you can't unsee it.
That's true. I can't. So yes, it does still affect me because I can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it. And now you know how to move going forward or help other people because now you've seen it and now you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, because I know damn sure it still affects me.
Yeah.
Because every single time I even get an inkling that it's heading down that direction, it's like, hold up now. Think about what happened the last couple times this happened. Do you see this? Check. Do you see this? Check. Do you see that? Nah. Do you see that? Nah. Do you see that? Nah.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it. We'll gather more information.
Okay.
All right. Next part. Why do you believe most people find themselves in the friend zone?
Lack of confidence.
Elaborate on that.
Most guys end up in the friend zone because they don't have the confidence to come out and tell the girl for a long or extended period of time that they really have feelings for her. And then by the time they do decide to do that, she's already like, he's not confident enough for me, but he's really nice. But he's just not my type.
Notice the common thing. He's really nice.
But that's,
Stop being nice.
And ladies, you can tell, if you think I'm lying, hey, by all means, comment down below and express how you feel about it. But over this happening multiple times, that's what I found when I see it, even in myself, and I saw it in other people. It was always waited too long to say, hey, look, I'm really interested in you, and I really think we could be something. It was always nice, do everything. Show her that you're a good guy. Show her that you'll take care of her. Show her. And then it's like, okay, now that she's seen enough of me, hey, I'm ready. And she's like, you're just too nice. I mean, I appreciate everything you do and that you've done, but no, I'm just looking for something else.
That reminds me of the question Dez asked, what would you do if you proposed to somebody and they told you no? He said that he would bend down and tie his shoe and then hit her with the smoothest Hadouken coming right up from the
So silly. But
What?
yeah, like you should, and especially the whole proposing to someone before you know exactly how they feel. Like politely have that conversation before you get to that point. Like just drop it in there. I can see myself marrying you. And then just watch the reaction. If they don't agree, like if they're just like, oh, well, that's cool. Next. If they're not like, I've thought the same thing and I really do think we'd be great together, it's worth having the conversation. But if you're really dating to marry is no joke. You only date people that you could see yourself marrying. And as soon as you see that I could not marry that person, much as I like you, gotta go.
That don't only apply to dating to marry, that applies to who you have a kid for. But that's a topic.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other deal right there.
That's a topic for another time.
Can't tell you how many females.
Another time. Not even gonna get into it. No, I know. That's why we're not even gonna get into it. No.
But I know we make cute babies.
No. So what?
It's like that's the only reason you wouldn't. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Okay, I'm gonna stop. All right, back on track.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, but you may as well pull on the pulpit on that up.
I know. Because what? Y'all can see it on this camera right now. You know how many times I've been asked if I dye my hair? And when they find out it's natural, Lord. No. Another time. But how do you think women find themselves in the friend zone with men? Because it happens.
It does happen.
It happens.
It does. And I will say with men, because we are visual creatures, and we are, a lot of us, thinking with the wrong head, they just don't see the excitement and spontaneity that they get somewhere else. Like, men are simple. Feed me, clothe me, sex me.
Listen to me.
Listen to me. Well, I say
To an extent.
respect me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
respect
I would
me.
say respect me.
But right now it's listen to me because
Yeah, a lot of women don't listen. But that's since the
but
beginning of time.
that's one thing I said a couple episodes back is they don't listen, and the ones who do, those are the ones who get snatched off the markets the fastest.
That's true. Yeah, they're not out there long. Mm-hmm.
But another time.
To that being said, because I'm not just picking on women, there's a lot of men that don't listen.
I will.
There's a lot of men
Anybody
that can't be led through wisdom as to how to be a good husband. And that's a lot of the problem. And then you have a lot of older men now that feel like a lot of the younger men aren't willing or ready to listen. So they don't even they don't even share the tea. It's like they're not gonna listen. But in society as a whole, we hurt everybody by doing that.
I agree.
So that's why I'm here, in case you're wondering. But if you got a question, by all means, present the question. We'll talk about it. Cause I'm, like he's already said, I'm 20 years with 21 years, same woman, and this will be 16, working on 16 years married. I've been through it, in, out. We done had discussion after discussion, and it ain't just her. Cause I married my wife, and then my wife has all her best friends, and so we talk about everything. So it's not just getting her opinion. I've been corrected by the team too, and I've also corrected the team. So, shameless plug.
Hey, I will always be here for it. But so you think it's more of the aesthetic reasons why they end up in the friend zone with guys?
Usually. Mm-hmm.
And
I say aesthetic, so not like, okay, I like more rock girls versus nerd girls. It's just they see a girl and it turns into, okay, majority of the time it's like, okay, too much makeup, she's not confident in herself. Always dressed down, she never dresses up. Always calls herself fat. Like, it's a lot of the friend zone stuff with guys is like that lack of women believing in what they're capable of.
fair enough. Because I was just about to say, I know a lot of the times it's just like you were just saying. If you don't show me that you don't need me to boost your ego every second of the day, yeah, you ain't getting past being a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I can't give you that much of my energy. I got other stuff to worry about.
Yeah, you can't be what my dad would call them, an energy vacuum, an attention vacuum. Like you got to be quietly confident. We talked about that, but that's a whole nother discussion. Women in the quiet confidence when they know they're bad, but they don't say anything. They just walk in the room and the room shifts, and then when they do open their mouth, everybody like, who is that? But by the time you figure out who they are, the dude comes in and you're like, oh, she already got somebody. All right.
50-50. Because does anybody have anybody these days? And then if she does, and then that's another conversation, because sometimes it's, okay, she got somebody. Mm-hmm. Then you think that and you take yourself out of the race when they're actually just platonic friends, and now you've already discounted yourself.
And you kind of just
instead of going with the move.
Yeah.
But then there's the other side of that. Was, yeah, he may think he got her, but he ain't got her. Or she may think she got him, but she ain't got him.
True. But then that boils down.
They do have each other, and you ain't got a shot in hell.
Right. So that's when you become the joke, and you didn't even know it.
We've all been there. But next question is, whose friend zone is worse? A man being friend zoned by a woman, or a woman being friend zoned by a man?
That's a good question. I don't have a solid answer on that one.
Oh, I do. I absolutely have one.
By all means.
A woman being friend zoned by a man.
Okay.
Because at the most, it is easier for a woman to quote unquote get out of the friend zone with a man, because all she really has to do is offer him up her body and he will absolutely accept it. But now, knowing that I have been your friend for this long, and how you feel and how we are in that situation, if I decide that this really ain't it, this really ain't it. And you will be dropped like a bad habit. A lot faster.
You're talking about a man to a woman.
Yes. A woman will be dropped like a bad habit a lot quicker than a man will ever be dropped by a woman like that. Because at some point, because at base, a man's not going to need that constant validation from her anymore. Once he knows all he needs to know, right, and makes his decision, there's no more need for validation.
Yeah, that non-emotional side of the man is going to kick in.
Now I can just find somebody else to fill the void.
Yeah.
But if she's not in the spot she wants to be, especially in the dating life, she's still gonna need that validation. So you may not be getting all that you want as a dude, but you called her pretty.
Yeah.
You're talking on the phone for hours at a time. You go over and help.
I can see that. Okay.
And
Yeah.
sometimes, because it does happen with particular women, they don't find you attractive in the beginning, you're friend zone. But now that you've continuously showed up, you've been persistent, you've been a solid individual, and they are now seeing that you have actual value, once they realize that value, you ain't giving that value to nobody else.
Yeah. I've been in that one too.
That's why I say it is harder for a woman to be in a man's friend zone, because after a certain point, if he says you're not going past this level, you're not getting past this level. But with a woman, Urkel and Laura.
Okay, that's a great example. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, you know what?
Urkel, from the time they were 11 to adults, was friend zone. But at 18, all of a sudden, something changed in Laura. Minus the fact that Myra was there.
Well, Myra was what teed it off.
Yeah, of course.
And then Myra, carried on. And then it was like, all right, she is worth being around. He took his glasses off and became Stefan Urkel. Remember, that's what happened to Family Matters. Family Matters is the TV show we're talking about. For those who haven't seen it, it was a really good sitcom if you can find it.
I'm pretty sure it's on Prime Video. If it's not on Prime Video, it's on Hulu.
Yeah, Family Matters was one of the best sitcoms that were out there.
But yeah, no, it's not even the Stefan thing. Because yeah, she was involved when Stefan was there.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, as the series progressed, there was a moment in time where she no longer wanted Stefan.
Right. She just wanted him
she
to be
evolved past Stefan because Steve split them.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
And then at that point, it was no longer, Stefan wasn't in the picture because Stefan could never be the stability she needed.
Yeah.
So he went on and did his modeling thing and became super successful and cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was just nerdy old good time, always going to be there for me, Steve.
Yep.
Willing to go to the ends of the earth to do whatever for me, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually he wore her down.
Yes. Stability won.
and they got married. Before the show was over, they got married and lived there happily ever after.
That brings me to another point with this friend zone thing. The importance of stability with the women now versus the women 70s, 80s, we'll go backwards, 80s, 70s, 60s. Like, women now don't necessarily look for the same type of stability that they used to. Because the women now, thanks to the feminist women, feel as though anything he can do, I can do. Which is still not true. And I'm going to say that with the pause at the end. Women cannot do everything men can do. And for those women out there who think so, you are only fooling yourself. And it's like that by design. Argue it as you may, but you can't fight gravity. You can't. Women and men are designed differently. Men and women are designed to operate and balance each other. It's that simple.
I'm going to agree with your statement, but I'm going to disagree with your statement. Yes, it seems like they are looking for a different type of stability now. They're looking for the same stability. Mm-hmm. The only difference is now social media, that the whatever movement, because YouTube doesn't like their word.
It doesn't make it less true.
It doesn't make it less true. YouTube doesn't like that word. But between that movement, the epidemic of single mothers and fatherless children, and social media putting it out there so prevalently that a woman can be successful without a man.
It's true.
They are looking for stability, but now they want you to jump through extra hoops to prove you can be stable, instead of before it was, I'm here, I'm stable. You see the stability, you can either get on the train or you can let it pass you by.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's, I'll get on the train, but I want a first class seat right next to the bar and the attendants to wait on me the entire time.
And if you can't do it, I can do it for myself.
Or there's somebody out there who will. They're still looking for that same stability.
Okay.
It's just different now.
Same but different.
No, because we'll save that for another time too. But yeah, we've already discussed how a woman can escape the friend zone because really it's well, no, that's not the majority of it because there's another way a woman can escape, and it truly depends on the man. But what, in your opinion, are the ways a woman can escape the friend zone with a man? Like he has her in the friend zone.
I think it's not just men, but once somebody sees that somebody else is getting that attention, that's when the shift starts happening. Like the guys, she's stable, she's there, she's always there, I can always call her. It's not until she finds another friend or someone who's close by her or she has that attention that's split now. It's like, oh, well, I can't do this today, I'm going with my other friend. Like, who's the other friend? It becomes an ego thing.
Absolutely.
And that's how women get out of it. The easiest way, most common way women get out of it, I won't say it's easy, but it's the most common way, is that the guy realizes, like, wait a second, she is really good and somebody else really wants her. No, wait, I can't okay, but let me stop what I'm doing and pay attention now.
Fair enough. And how about a guy? How does he get out of her friend zone?
Move on to the next one. Women are emotional. If you haven't already gotten there and she's not giving you a chance to get there, it's different if she's giving you a chance and saying, you know what, we've been friends. I shot it down, but I'll give it a try. That's one thing. But if she's already put you typically in that category, it's really for her, no different than makeup. It's not until she sees you with whoever you decide to be with, then it's going to be, he picked her over me. And
she's not even pretty.
Exactly. She's not even. Then it's the comparison. Yeah. And then depending on how those two operate, it turns into, you know what? I was wrong about you, and they'll try to catch it before it gets too far. Is usually what happens.
But unfortunately, you don't get to decide what's too far.
Right. And then the other chick is looking like, who's this? Oh, that was the friend you were telling me about?
And then that's when
that's the one the burn hurt, right?
That's when it hurt.
That's when the burn. Oh, that was the friend you were telling about? Yeah, that was the one I was telling you about.
You told her about me?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I did, yep. But hey, we gotta go. We have dinner reservations at 5. So it's been great seeing you.
Dinner reservations for where?
Yeah.
Such and such spot. You never took me there.
You never took me there. Hey, we were never in a relationship.
What you want me to say?
See? That's it right there. It becomes that competitive side of things where it's like, okay.
Well, I mean, no, not this episode. Okay.
We got a lot of that this episode.
Yes, we did. Yes. But I have it all scripted and planned out. But all of that to say, which is perfect that we rolled right into this, is either side, both men and women, when it comes to the friend zone, you have to make a choice.
Yes.
You have to make a choice. You have to understand that you don't necessarily need that relationship, because a lot of times when people are in the friend zone like that, they stay for the validation of, well, this person could like me.
Right.
You don't need that validation from them. There are more people who are going to show you up front, not make you jump through hoops and go through a whole 3-ring circus just to prove a point. Then you have to realize, especially when it comes to you dudes, because a lot of y'all, you may have 1 or 2 friends, y'all don't see each other all the time. The vast majority of men are lonely. You have to realize that your value is much greater than what this person is telling you it is. That goes for men and women, but Men, listen up especially. Because just because the pretty girl is allowing you to hang out in her space doesn't mean that you are only valuable enough to give her compliments, buy her food and drinks, or sometimes maybe a gift or two, just so you can be in her presence.
Yes, that's being a simp. Don't be a simp. If you notice that you're giving, and you're going to pick her up, and you're going to make sure that she gets home safe, but she's not reciprocating, reevaluate that.
Because look, it only takes me 2 times for me to call and you either ignore that call or you decline it. You're good. Bet y'all won't call again.
Yeah. And that's true now, especially with people calling, leaving voicemails and texts. If you call somebody, they don't answer a couple times. If they're not in danger, they're like, oh yeah. If they kind of whatever it and don't even at least text back, hey, I saw you called, I'll call you later. Then you gotta, consider like,
If you air me for longer than a day and don't say something, you cool. You good. But this also brings up the point of deciding when it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, for a lot of people, there are people who can make it out. But just like being born, not everybody's going to make it. Only 1 or 2 can actually make it to see the day of light. You got to go for somebody else. There's plenty of fish in the sea. And there's plenty of people who are actually going to pick you for you, not for what you can do for them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you decide that, you move on, some time has passed, you want to let them back in, you can let them back in, but don't go backward. Because a lot of people let them back in and go backward. And then you wondering why this happened and why it's just like before. Yeah, because you didn't change the rules of the game.
Yep. If you want to see a change, you got to change first. You got to show them what's appropriate, what's allowed, what you will allow, what you'll accept and what you won't accept. And then the people who like it and love it, they'll be around. Those who won't respect it, they'll move around.
And then, of course, there's that one option that you can always take, that if it's just like you've tried your damnedest and they want to keep dangling the carrot and acting like you just out of reach.
Mm-hmm.
Get her mom, sister, or her best friend. It'll hurt a whole lot more than just trying to dangle and get that carrot.
Petty Betty couldn't be out of this. She had to stick her head in.
Just go ahead, because it'll hurt a little bit more.
I err on the side of silence and separation. I'm not.
Shit.
I'm not trying to hurt you.
Silence and separation is cool when warranted, but sometimes when they take it a little too far, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Far be it from me to say, hey, Future done told y'all now. Whoever she is, I love her, but on Monday you can have her back.
Future.
It's the evil world we live in.
No life lessons from Future for me. I'm good.
You've also been in a relationship.
It's true.
For 21 years.
It's true.
Because there's too much of what Future say now. It's like, you know what?
It kind of made sense right
He
there.
ain't wrong. He's not wrong.
Was that wrong?
But that's all I got on this one. Of course, there's a lot of room for gray and nuance, and obviously this left a lot of questions that couldn't be answered today. Mm-hmm. But overall, friend zone, 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. Mm-hmm. Just move on. And you know what's even funnier? Put your own game. This goes for men and women. The second you stop giving them that extra attention, that's when they want it the most.
That's exactly what my dad would tell me. As soon as you get busy about doing what you need to do, they will find themselves to be busy about figuring out where you went and what you're doing. And not for any other reason than to say, I just don't want you to progress beyond where I saw. And it's just being human. That's not even being anything other than like, oh wow, look, he's changing. I don't want to get left behind. So yeah, move on, move forward. People get curious when you get busy.
Don't I know it? Anyway, so we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Rader Kaizen, once again. Appreciate everybody watching. Check it out. Share it. If you got anything to say, by all means, share it. We'll comment back. Let you know how we feel. If nothing else, have the conversation and start reevaluating who's in your friend circle. Make sure everybody's being 100. And if you like them, gentlemen, just tell them you like it. Same thing, ladies. If you like them, tell them you like them. Stop being weird about it. Worst thing they can say is no. And then guess
No,
what?
it's not. I do not agree with that statement. The worst thing they can say is not no. Fellas, the worst thing she can say is ew.
That's
That is the worst thing she can say is ew.
That's immature too, though. And you don't need to be there anyway. if
Don't
she's
mean
gonna
it.
be immature.
Don't mean it don't happen. And ladies, the worst thing he can say is maybe.
Yeah, if he says maybe, yeah, wrap it up, B.
Mm.
I got your maybe. See you later. Yeah.
See y'all. But all that to say, we'll see y'all next time. All right.
All right.